All right, sound check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Sound check. All right, we're good. How you doing, folks? Ron Raymond here from the Raymond Report for a Football Friday, September 10th. Hopefully you're having yourself a good start to your day. As always, don't forget, subscribe to our channel by tapping that notification bell in the top right-hand corner, or hit the subscribe button below this video if you are watching on a mobile device. Today's podcast is brought to you by, not the dashboard, but the World Series of Handicapping.com website, the Pro Football Contest, season number 10. That's right, going in season number 10. And folks, it's still not too late to join, and you can join right now by going to worldserieshandicaping.com. Sign up for the contest. It's a $25 entry fee. You got till Sunday, 12 noon, and you can sign up. And what you do is you make 7 selections each and every week, sides or totals, and you rate those selections 1 unit to 7 units. And the player with the most amount of units at the end of the season will win the Baron Championship ring, the $1,500 in cash. And if you go 7-0 anytime during the contest, you will win $50 courtesy of the World Series of Handicapping.com contest. Also, if you're playing at bullpenpicks.com, let's take a look at the new leader today at Gas House Gang. Hey, that's a tongue twister right there. Patrick Klein, but he hasn't made a pick since September 3rd, so he's riding his reputation here on 948. And then you got AccuDog JD, who's been playing very regularly. He's got 852, and there's the Terminator, Kevin, and he's listed at third place at 805. And folks, you want to follow everybody here at bullpenpicks.com. And again, anybody can join, anybody can play. And if you want my baseball picks for free, all you got to do is go to most followed. It was a good and bad day yesterday. I won my 2 members pick at ATS. I had the Blue Jays and the Cleveland Indians. But overall, I think 3 and 5 on a Thursday. It's that NFL Thursday night game threw me off with all the stats and everything to be generated. All right, I'm going to say good morning right now to Sniper. How you doing, Snipe? And he says the sound is good. That's good. You know, people are saying sometimes it's slow, so I adjusted a bit of the volume, and you guys can tell me if the volume is good. There's Jermaine Brown. Zachary Reed, how you doing, Zach? I got your email, Zach, and it's just been busy right there, so I will reply to you probably this weekend. Mark Nations, how you doing, Mark? It's a Football Friday. And like Zachary says, let's make some money today and let's go get that cash. And speaking of cash, we're waiting for Bald Cash to tune in. You know, Bald Cash is from the ATL is going to be making an appearance. And man, it's going to be a good show here today. Now, looking at the lineup here today, again, folks, if you are new to the Raymond Report, my name is Ron Raymond. I'm a 5-time sports handicapping champion based out of Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. And I've been doing this, again, since 1996. I've written a book, Ron Raymond's Top 50 Sports Betting Secrets, which you can get here on our website or on Amazon. And also founder of the World Series of Handicapping. And in the process, in the last 20-some years, I've created over 20 websites. You know, some have gone well, some have some have gone to the wayside. But at the end of the year, my goal has always been to create very innovative and creative sports betting tools for handicappers to use. Tools like the ATS calculator, right? If you go to atscalculator.com, you know, this is a good tool when it comes to especially college basketball with all the totals going on, right? All right, and then if you're new to the podcast, this is the Raymond Report. We are broadcasting live every morning, 10:30 Eastern. And, you know, we're going to be here 7 days a week right until Super Bowl. And then we're going to evaluate our situation. And we'll see if, you know, if there's a demand for the 10:30 a.m. podcast, which I hope there will be because these are a lot of fun to do. And it's good to meet some good people each and every day. And the objective of the podcast is to get you to the winner's circle at the end of the night. And the more times you get to the winner's circle, guess what happens? You cash out on a Monday. And that's the caramel secret, right? Getting to cash out money, get some money, but get to cash out Monday so you can get your money. And hopefully you can make some money on a cash out. All right, there's Gloria K. Good morning, coffee date. Hey, that's all right. You know what? We got everybody tuning in every morning, and you know, either you're having a coffee, or if you're in Europe, it's probably in Europe, maybe about 2 o'clock, 2:30, probably having a Maybe, I don't know, what's the popular beer in Europe? Heineken, maybe? Hey, is Heineken a popular beer in Europe? Or a Stella Artois? Hey, the old good old Stella Artois. All right, so let's take a look at the schedule here today. And what we're going to do, we're going to always kick off and show our respect to the horse racing industry. And then we're going to go into a football Friday. It's Pro Football Friday. What a great game last night. You know, the forecast yesterday, I gave the NFL forecast. We had Dallas Cowboys 29, Tampa Bay 16. And I said, you know, it's those uncomfortable picks, right? And this is one thing I've learned a long time in this industry, especially with the computer pick, is that it's there for a reason. Because if it's in the simulated games, that means, you know, I always say history is our greatest teacher. And whatever the computer pick, dug out from the past, I knew it was probably going to be a solid pick on the side. If you did like Dallas, I kind of knew they wouldn't win straight up. But hey, you know what? They gave everybody something to think about now in the NFC East, right? Man, my futures ticket on the Giants is I was like, okay, all right, Dak Prescott, I see you, Dak. And you got to give credit to the Cowboys. Cowboys showed up last night. Nobody gave them a chance. You watch every podcast, you watch every show, even the NFL Network and the pregame show. Every analyst had Tampa Bay winning last night, right? Very few people picked Dallas to win, but you know what? They didn't need to win. All they needed to do was cover that spread, and that spread opened up at maybe 6, I think, and it closed at close to 10. So congrats, Dallas Cowboy backers. And you guys did cash in last night. So we're going to look at all the games here today. And then I'm going to run down the baseball games because I know we got a lot of baseball faithfuls here. And, always you got to dance with the girl that brought you here. And that's right now, that's baseball that has brought us to this point. And then I'll take a look at the Trends Are Your Friends. And then we'll wrap it up on a football Friday. All right, let's go to the horse racing. And let's take a look at our free tip sheet today. And our free tip sheet is going to be the Gulfstream Park. Hello, friends. Welcome to Gulfstream Park. Remember that back in the day, there'd be the announcer every time we listened to the podcast on simulcast. The house announcer, the track announcer, every 10 minutes. Good evening. Welcome to Gulfstream Park. Good evening, friends. Welcome to Gulfstream Park. Anyways, who's in the house? Miss Danica's in the house. That's how you knew Dallas was on the pick. Everyone was on Tampa Bay. Yeah, the golden rule, right? When everybody loves one side, what do? Go the other way. And that always helps out. All right, let's take a look at Gulfstream Park. Folks, welcome to Gulfstream Park. Look at that. Number 14, Sid Stay. Sid, stay in your lane. Okay, Sid, stay in your lane. Gonzalez taking a ride on the number 14 here. Sid, stay in your lane. And then you got the number 3 horse, Princess Sadie, with Diaz Jr. taking a ride here on Princess Sadie, the number 3 horse. 8-5 morning line on Princess Sadie. Triplet. Hey, you know what? I talk about the triplets all the time, right, in football. And in fact, I will be talking about the triplets today. And I'll give you what my version of the triplet is, going back to the 90s Cowboys with those triplets. Number 11 horse, Triplet, Sutherland taking a ride on Triplet, 9-2 morning line. And the Joker's selection, the value play of the day, is Undercover Outlaw with my man Sammy Camacho on the number 4 horse, Undercover Outlaw, 3-1 morning line. 14-3-11 in race number 1 today at Gulfstream Park. Post times at 2 p.m. Eastern today at Gulfstream Park. That's an unusual time for Gulfstream, at 2 p.m. Post time. 5 furlongs on the turf. Race number 1 is a 21,000 maiden claiming race. And if you're going to play this race, folks, I'm going to recommend 14-3, 3-11, 11-4 exacta box. Now, anytime I see a 14 horse, there's probably going to be a scratch, right? So be careful on the scratches, or just be aware. 14-3-11 is the trifecta recommendation, and it's 4-3-11. So 14-3-11, 4-3-11 trifecta box. And if you're going to play the Jokers today, the number 4 horse, Undercover Outlaw, always recommend the Double Dutch betting system. And that is, if you got a $20 budget, put 10 to win, 10 to place on the number 4 horse, Undercover Outlaw. This way he comes in second, you get some of that money back. All right, let's take a look at the schedule. Let's see what's going on. Eric Jones, how you doing, Eric? Chat up. What's up, Eric? And let me see who else is in the house. And again, folks, it's a football Friday. And what I'd like to recommend is when we break down some of the NFL games, post your pick. Let us know. Let us know you're there, and let us know who you like today in football this weekend. And let's go to the SBI, the Sports Betting Index. I always like to look at the SBI. It's one of those exercises you should be doing every morning to see exactly what the bookmaker is thinking, what he's seeing, what has come in, and this way there's no surprises, right? I always say you got to see what's come in, and look at underdogs yesterday. 5-3 for the underdogs. The underdogs have now won 3 of the last 4 days in Major League Baseball. Remember I said there's always going to be a reversal, right? And if you're betting favorites, you better be careful because eventually the reversal does happen. Favorites don't win forever. Underdogs don't win forever. You got to find that happy medium, right? And you can see here yesterday, 5-3 for the underdogs, 2-6 to the under. Look at that. So the under is now on a 4-day winning streak right now. And if you look at the 3-day average, 65.7% of the unders have come in the last 3 days. And this is your SBI Sports Betting Index report here for a Football Friday, September 9th. It feels good to say that, a Football Friday. And Gloria K is raining sunshine on us this morning. She says it's a sunny day in Chicago today, enjoying her coffee. Hey, is it a Tim Hortons or a Starbucks there, Gloria K? Or is it a Dunkin' Donuts? The America runs on Dunkin', right? That's what they say. Every time you go to the States, we'll have a Dunkin' Donut or a Starbucks, or $5 or $10, whatever you want to call it. But Bobby Guerrero, my underdog parlay for today is Cardinals, Rockies, Indians, and Mets. Let me know what you think. All right, once we get to baseball, I'll have to take a look at the starting pitchers, the lines, and all that stuff, Bobby. But I will get to that very shortly. All right, what do we got on deck here? So we did the SBI. Okay, so before we get into breaking down the NFL schedule for week number 1, we saw a great game last night. That was a really fantastic football game. It was one of those games where the betting public just thought, Tampa Bay was, get that ring ceremony, unveil the ribbon and, the party and just give the 2 points right away to Tampa Bay, right? But you got to be impressed on, Kellen Moore, right? The former quarterback for the Boise State Broncos, the OC for the Dallas Cowboys. He had a great offensive game plan. And one thing I do as a football coach is I'm an offensive guy, right? I'm always looking at the schemes, the play calling of the offensive coordinators, and I thought that what Kellen Moore did last night, he didn't run into the mouth of the line, right? And that is the defensive front four of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That defensive line is they got 22 returning starters back, right? So they didn't miss a beat. That defense was okay last night. You still got to say that the Dallas Cowboys still put 29 points on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If you're looking for a bright spot, if you're a Dallas fan, hey, you put 29 points on one of the best defense, right? That won the Super Bowl last year. So I think if you're a Cowboy fan, you're pretty excited. You do have a chance in the NFC East division this year, and it's not a very strong division, but very good outing last night for the Dallas Cowboys. And Tom Terrific, right? What do you say about Tom Brady? He defies time, right? 44 years old, and he's looking like he just came out of Michigan there 2 weeks ago. All right, let's go to week number 1. Now, what I'm going to do before I break down all the games, I did this yesterday on my podcast on the NFL week 1, is that I went back to last year, and I think it's always a good exercise, to look at week 1, week 2, all those things. And I'm going to go back to last season, week number 1. It's just a refresher because entering, every time you enter a week, there's a mindset out there, right? There's a public, I'm big on public psychology of the betting public, the bookmaker. It's us against them. It's our number against their number. And let's go back to last season. We'll see how the favorites did during week 1. And if you recall last year in week 1, what was the biggest surprise? It was Jacksonville knocking off the Indianapolis Colts as an 8-point home underdog, right? 27-20. And it's just, I think it's a good exercise to go back to last season, week number 1. And then if there's anything here that triggers any indicators that you might have, it's just a good refresher to go back. And this way you don't get caught in these, like, why didn't I know that? I forgot all about that Colts-Jaguar week 1, and let's take a look at that, some of the games last year. So, what I found interesting right off the hop is that the Dolphins and Patriots are playing again week 1, and it's again in New England. So I don't know what Bob Kraft has done to the schedule maker. Did he flip him a little 50 or something there? But look at that. New England playing the Dolphins here. Last year, the Dolphins winning 21-11. The Buffalo taking on the New York Jets, and the Bills won easily by 10. It wasn't that easy, right? It was 27-17. The line was 6.5. And Baltimore took care of business against Cleveland. Cleveland Browns 0-13-1 last 14 years in week number 1. So let's see if they're going to break that streak this week at Arrowhead. 38-6 was the final for the Baltimore Ravens last year. The Giants taking care of business on, I think that was a Monday Night Football game. It says, I think it was a Monday Nighter, right? And it was a 26-16 win for the Giants. And you know what I remember from that game? It was the first game that Big Ben was back from that elbow surgery, right? The elbow injury he had. And he looked pretty good. I thought he looked pretty good. And this is why we do this exercise, right? Little things are coming back to me when I see some of these things, right? Jacksonville, Indy. Hey, who had Indy last year in the Survivor Pool week 1? And, punt. Hey, there you go. Week 1. Thanks for coming out. Hey, here's your coat. What's your hurry? As my mom would say when I used to go visit her. Hey, she used to say, hey, Ron, how you doing? Here's your coat. What's your hurry? Hey, why are you leaving so quickly? Denver at Titans, you got 16-14 win. Is it just me, or does every Tennessee Titan game involve a 2-point difference? Like, as long as I've handicapped Tennessee games, there's two things I've always noticed. There's either a safety involved, or there's always a 2-point difference in the game. I don't know, just something that just a quirky thing that always stayed with me. Tennessee always in a 2-point difference in game. How do you get 2 points in the NFL, right? CFL, I get it, single points. NFL, I just don't understand it. Kansas City against Houston, 34-20 last year. Carolina against the Raiders, it was a 34-30 victory for the Raiders. I don't recall that one that much. You guys remember anything about that game? I don't remember that much of that game. Let me see here. We got the Chargers and Bengals. Yes, 16-13. That was the final right there. Washington against the Eagles. It was a 27-17 victory for the Washington football team. The Rams and Cowboys. It was a 2017. I think that was the Sunday Nighter. Remember, that was the Sunday Nighter. And again, look at the Cowboys. Week 1 last year. Hey, we should have thought about that last night. And it was what the point spread was 3. And I think looks like the Rams were underdog in that game, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure. Could be though, because I see here the Rams. They won the ATS, so they might have been an underdog. Minnesota, Green Bay. Now that game last year, Minnesota, Green Bay, I remember it really well because I was all over Minnesota. I love that we were, getting Minnesota. I thought, the Packers were okay, but a division game. And, man, what I didn't know was how bad that defense was going to be, losing all the players on defense. And I said, man, Zimmer's going to have a rough time this year with that defense. And I'm not used to seeing a Minnesota defense pooping the bed that bad, right? Chicago Lions, it was a 23-27 victory over Detroit. Now, the one thing with the Lions, the over is, I want to say 13-1 or 13-0. 13-0-1. I'll look it up in a second. But if you played the over in Detroit Lions game the last 15 years, I think you're like 14-0 or something like that. I'll take a real quick look before I finish. But yeah, if you do like the over, it's a good bet right there. The Saints taking on the Buccaneers. Yeah, remember Tom Brady, his initiation to the NFC South. And that was I think it was a 4 o'clock game, if I'm not mistaken. It was Breeze. They labeled it Breeze against Brady, and Drew Brees got the better of that one. But you know what? It probably fueled Tom Brady to win the, just that one game. That's all he needed was that one lesson to say, okay, we're in a real division here. Hey, I don't see the Bills and Jets in this division, so I'm gonna have to play some real football here. Atlanta taking on the Seahawks, 38-25 victory for the Seattle Seahawks. And then you got the Niners and Cardinals. It was a 24-20 victory for Arizona as a 7-point dog in San Francisco. I do remember that one. All right, so again, a little refresher from last year, week number 1. And again, I won't do this every week, week 2, week 3. I always think it's a good idea because you might have some type of instinct going into week 1. And hopefully by, talking about these games, brings you back to last year, week 1, what your mindset was, and maybe how you approach week number 1 this year. Let me go to that Detroit thing I want to show you guys. So let me go to Detroit last year, or the last couple years, right? Week 1, and let's go last 15 years. Last 15 years, and you can see Detroit. What's the over? 13-1. Hey, is that crazy or what? 13-1. What was the under? Hey, what was it, a division game? Chicago, yep, division game, 1914, and that game was in 2010. So 2010, week 1. All right, that was a long time ago. Let me see here. All right, let's go to the NFL computer pick. Let me check my description here, see where we're at. So we talked about that. All right, let's go to week number 1. Let's go to those computer picks. And again, folks, if you have any feedback and you guys enjoying the show, let me know. Hit the like button if you do enjoy the show. And the objective of the show is to give you quality information. The one thing when I watch podcasts is that the couple things that I try to avoid is dead air. I try to make sure I don't have as much dead air as possible. And dead air is when you're just sitting there going, huh? And you got nothing to say. And I try to bring you guys quality information that you probably don't get. And I think differently, right? If you look at the Rain report, the way I look at my handicapping and the way the goalpost, I always say the goalposts have changed in sports betting, and now the goalposts have moved, and it's all about percentage play. You can break down every player you want and all the thing. At the end of the day, it's your number against the bookmaker's number. And I always say, how do you handicap an overtime game when you don't know it's overtime at the beginning of the game? How do you handicap a 98-98 NBA game with 10 seconds left when the home team was favored by 12? You don't know, right? At the end of the day, those are things you can't control. The only thing you can really control is the percentage play. You can see how many times the team has won, what's their percentage, and then I use the law of average theory. I believe that every team in sports and the bookmaker's job, think about the bookmaker's job. What's his job? If we have 100 people in the room, he wants 50 betting on Dallas, 50 betting on Tampa Bay, so he can make his juice in the middle, right? His vigorous, and that's what I base all my theories on. It's like, okay, you know what? If it's not the Seinfeld episode. I don't base my theory on Jerry Seinfeld's Even Steven episode, right? Even though I mention it a lot, but again, at the end of the day, it's about the percentage play, and the thing is, when you look at the standings, Bill Parcells says it all the time. You are what your record says you are, right? And to me, when you look at the winning percentage, and this is why in the Rain report, I always tend, especially in baseball, like money line sports, I'll tend to always play a little bit more favorites on good teams, like A and B type teams in the Rain report, teams that are above 50%, right? Anytime you bet on a team below 50%, and you're expecting good things to happen, it very rarely does, right? All right, let's kick it off with the Steelers taking on the Buffalo Bills. Now, the Bills going into this weekend as a 6.5-point favorite. The over-under set at 47.5. Forecast, going to lean with the Bills in a high-scoring affair. 33.9, 27.8. The over-under set at 61.7. And one exercise that I love to do is whenever I handicap a game, and I said I would talk to you guys about this, is the Triplet Factor, right? And I got this back in the 90s when Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith, Troy Aikman were the triplets in Dallas. And anytime I handicap a game, I always say, okay, what are the triplets going into this weekend? Because you got to factor those triplets because, if you're putting your money on a team, and you're saying, okay, who's going to make the plays here on offense? Who am I trusting this weekend? So if you're trusting the Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh Steelers, you got Mike Tomlin as the head coach, 15th year at Pittsburgh. He's got a 64% win percentage, and then you got Big Ben, Najee Harris, and Deontay Johnson. Those are your triplets for the Steelers. And then when you think of the Buffalo Bills, you got Sean McDermott going into his 4th season. And McDermott's got a 58% win percentage. Then you got Josh Allen, Devin Singletary, and Stephon Diggs, right? I do like 2 of the 3 right there. Singletary, the jury's still out for me. But I do like I like the Bills this weekend. I think they're getting a bit too much points here at 6.5. As much as I respect, I'm a Bills fan too. Probably doesn't show sometimes, right? But I do like the Bills. Let me go to my database. Let me go to this. Yeah, here we go. All right, so what I do is I'm going to take out, how many things I got open here? Let me close this window right there. All right, so the Steelers, one thing I like to do is I like to look how a team does in another team stadium. And since 1986, the Steelers have only played the Bills 10 times, right? And they are 4-6 against the number, straight up and against the spread, and 6-4 to the over/under. And when you look at, I'll bring up some of the stats and trends for each game. I'll just do one. The unders, 10-1 for the Steelers as an away team before a conference game the last 2 years. And for the Buffalo Bills, they are 9-1 straight up as a pick'em. Okay, but that's not the right line. Let me get another one right here. The Bills 10-3 straight up as a home team before a division game the last 5 seasons. So that's a pretty good trend right there. And let me tee up the next game. All right, we got the Jets taking on the Panthers. So I'm just going to tee up this right here. We're going to go New York Jets. And this is a feature that I use here at atsstats.com. Okay, so the Jets, who did I say? The Panthers. Yeah, 4.5 point Carolina. All right, and let's take a look at that. And then I'm just going to cue this right here. And let's take a look at the number. 4.5 point is the number here on the Panthers. And the over-under set at 44.5. ATS forecast computer pick sees a Jets victory. Look at that. 21.2, 19.6. The over-under at 40.95. Now, this is based on 19 simulated games into the database. And you got Robert Saleh, now the new head coach for the New York Jets. Now, the triplets for the Jets, you got Wilson, Mike White, Tevin Coleman, and so those are your Zach Wilson, Tevin Coleman, and Corey Davis. Those are your main weapons here on the Jets. And then when you think of Carolina, Matt Rule going in the second year, did a good job at Baylor and then Temple, and now he's a head coach for the Carolina Panthers, second year. And you got to expect anytime you take a program that's a losing program, you're not going to have a really high win percentage, 31.3 win percentage. And when you look at the triplet factors at Carolina, you're looking at Sam Arnold, Christian McCaffrey, Robbie Anderson. I like those triplets a little bit better. 4.5 point does seem like a little bit of like when it looks like a field goal game. But look at the Jets when they travel to Carolina since 1995. 1-3 straight up, 0-3-1 against the number, 2-2 to the over/under. And let me go back here and let's take a look at the Jets. The under 9-3 for the Jets as an away team against a non-conference opponent the last 6 seasons. And for the Panthers, let me take a look right here. Some of the stats. The Panthers, I want to see a total. Yeah, 11-3 to the over, 11-3-1 to the over as a home team versus non-division opponents the last 3 seasons. So could this one go over the total? I got the total landing on 40.95, and the total is 44.5. All right, I agree, Bald Cash, and Bald Cash says, "How you doing, Bald Cash? Let's make it a great weekend." Let me see here. Balkash, I say it must be a doctor. Yeah, Isaiah. Yeah, he sees his chiropractor, so he's probably running a bit late here today. All right, let's go to the next game between Jacksonville against the Houston Texans, and let me tune it up right here. So we got Jacksonville heading to Houston, and Houston, we got a problem, right? Do we have a problem in Houston these days? Let me see here. Yeah. I know J.J. Watts is happy for his brother getting paid, right? And J.J. bolting to Arizona right now. And let me go to the next one right here. Got to tee everything up. Hey, this ain't ESPN. This is the Rain Report. We don't have 15 producers here. Hey, we got one. I wear one hat. Hey, and I mop and close the lights on the way out. Right, mop the floors, close the lights on the way out. Ron. All right. So Jacksonville taking on the Houston Texans. Now Jacksonville a 3.5 point favorite. The over/under set at 45.5. Imagine that, eh? Urban Meyer comes in. He's a road favorite in week number 1 against the Houston Texans. That right there, that doesn't sit well in my, it doesn't pass my smell test, right? When I see that, and I said, okay, let's dig down into this game a little bit deeper. And Urban Meyer, somebody said, I heard somebody say last year, Jimmy Johnson, when he came in as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, was a great coach in college. And, he went 1-15 in year 1 with the Dallas Cowboys, right? Is Urban Meyer going to go 1-15? I hope not. I like Urban Meyer. I read his books. I've gotten, if you've read Urban Meyer's book, I think it's something the line, above the line or something like that. One of the things, quotes that I always use from Urban Meyer when I'm coaching football, or even in business, when I talk to people about business, I use this all the time. It's called the 10-80-10 rule. And anywhere you go, in his philosophy, like say if you have a football team, he says 10% of your football team will be elite, 80% will be your average Joe or Jane type thing, and then your other 10% are your disinterested. And the goal of a football team is to get as many of those 80% clubbers into the 10% elite club, and this is where you grow as a football team, right? And I think that's also a great way to look at business too, right? If you own a business and you have employees or you're part of a team, The 10-80-10 rule is a great thing that I've always used as one of my coaching philosophies. All right, OG Week, great morning, Coach. My bullpen family, let's light it up today. Andrew says, I think you need a new hat. The Yankees don't represent excellence anymore. Yeah, good call there, Andrew. Hey, where's my Blue Jay? You know what? Yeah, I gotta get my Blue Jay hat. I gotta give the Blue Jays some respect here. Yeah. Good call, Andrew. I gotta show the Blue Jays here, since I'm from Canada too, right? I gotta represent the 905 from the 613. But good call there, Andrew. Good call. You must be a Canadian, right, Andrew? Hey, or you just And what Andrew is referring to is that I wear a Yankee hat because of the excellence of It's like the Montreal Canadiens, right? All the Stanley Cups they've won, all the World Series they've won, and to me, when you're a professional handicapper or better, it's not about my fan card has gone a long time ago. It's about excellence, right? And to me, the Yankees represent a bit of excellence, just like the Montreal Canadiens back in the day, right? But again, I don't think we'll see any of those dynasties a lot anymore. But yeah, no, good call there, Andrew M. Good call. Much better, says Andrew. Are you Canadian or American, Andrew? Hey, it'd be funny to see. Hey, if it's it'd be funny to see right there. All right, so back to 10-80-10 rule with Urban Meyer, and you can see that Jacksonville 3.5 point. What do you guys think of this line? Is 3.5? Does this pass the smell test? I like Houston personally. I think Houston, is going to be the team that home team getting 3.5. If it goes to a field goal, we're okay. Looking at the triplets, let me take a look at Houston. David Culley, first year head coach. Tyrod Taylor now going to be the play caller for the Texans. Now, Tyrod Taylor, I got his jersey. The one thing I love Tyrod Taylor, Virginia Tech quarterback. He played a lot. He reminded me a lot like Michael Vick back in the day, right? If you remember when Michael Vick was at Virginia Tech, then Tyrod Taylor, identical, same type of quarterback. And, it didn't work out in Buffalo, right? Then he went to, LA Chargers? I think it was Chargers he went to. And now he's back in Houston. And no Deshaun Watson, right? But, I don't know if Tyrod is, I think he's a great quarterback to come in as a backup. I don't know if I'd give him the starting role right here. So for the triplets for the Houston Texans, let's take a look at their trips going into this weekend. So you got Tyrod Taylor, Mark Ingram. Hey, how bad is the Baltimore Ravens missing Mark Ingram right now? Ooh, that's not good. And then you got Brandon Cooks as the triplets, and then the triplets, and let's take a look at the triplets in Jacksonville. Urban Meyer, first year coach. Trevor Lawrence looked better in his last couple of games, and rookie quarterback in the NFL. He's gonna get better in time. And you got C.J. Beathard as the backup. Then you got James Robinson and DJ Shark as the leading receivers, right? So when you look at the triplets on both teams, you know what? Mark Ingram to me and Brandon Cooks, I'd probably give a lean towards the triplet factor for Houston. And when I look at the Jaguars heading into Houston, let's take a look at their record. 5-14 straight up, 8-10-1 against the number, and 9-10-0. And the last time Jacksonville won in Houston, 2017. Look at that, week 1. That makes me a little bit nervous. It was a 29-7 victory for the Jacksonville Jaguars. But the over 7-3 for Jacksonville as a away team in the month of September, the last 7 season. But here's the law of average, right? The under is 9-2 for Houston as a home team playing in September. I always lean to the home team when I get those type of stats. And so you know what? I'm still gonna ride Houston. I still like the Texans in this one. What do you guys? Houston, I'm leaning the under at the moment, says Zach. Steph likes the Texans. Gloria, American. Andrew's American. Okay, Yankee fan, Andrew. Hey, much better. But I do like Houston here. I do like Houston. So just for the record, guys, don't really have an opinion here on this play right now. Still I think Buffalo wins. I just think that number. If it's a 7-point game, that's a tough one right here. If I had to play this game here, probably play Pittsburgh plus the number. But I do like Houston, and let's get to this game between Arizona and Tennessee. Right. All right. So let me get that one queued up. Let's go Arizona, and let's go against Tennessee. And this, you know what? The thing I love about doing these shows on air like this And and you can see I'm all over the place a bit, but it's about research, it's about handicapping, and this is what you see is what I really do when I'm handicapping. So you're really getting a view on exactly how I handicap my games, what's the tools I use, and this is when I first did the Rain Report, and I said, you know what if I did a podcast on exactly what I do as a handicapper and how I handicap. And sometimes it's not as smooth as I'd like to go, like as much as like Fox Sports or ESPN, and they got all these graphics, but keep in mind they got like 50 people doing all the research, right? And like I said, I mop the floors and close the lights on the way out here, so what you see is what you get right here, and I do the best I can with what I got. All right, Arizona, Tennessee. Now, again, looking at this game, the Titans a 3.5-point favorite. The over/under at 52.5. I like what Arizona's done lately. Getting J.J. Watt on defense. Looking at the Triplet Factor. Cliff Kingsbury. I know he's an air raid coach. Was it Texas Tech? I believe he was at. And I don't know about you guys. The jury's still out for me on Kingsbury, right? I know he's we know he's got a great apartment, right? We saw that at the draft last year with that view. He's got great taste in his apartment or his house, right? We all in furniture, we know that. But to me, I don't know. I'm just the jury's still out for me as the leader of a football team. And when you got a 42.2% win percentage, I'm not there yet. So Kyler Murray, love Kyler Murray. Man, he gives every 5'10" quarterback, hope. The Doug Flutie, Kyler Murray type of guys. I saw Kyler Murray play in the Orange Bowl about 2 years ago against Alabama, and the game was over by halftime. But the one thing I took out of that game, Kyler Murray did not quit. And the second half, he really, when the game continued in the second half, it's as if his confidence level got higher and higher. And I think he just needed another 2 quarters and probably would have been a better game. But yeah, Kyler Murray to me is the real deal. And we know he's a baseball player too, right? He could be a baseball pitcher. You got Chase Edmonds as the running back and DeAndre Hopkins as one of the triplets. So you look at the triplets, you look at Murray, Edmonds, and Hopkins. And then when you look at Tennessee, Vrabel, a disciple of Bill Belichick, doing really well. 59.6 win percentage for Vrabel at Tennessee. And looking at their triplet, Ryan Tannehill. You know what? If Ryan Tannehill is, when you think of underdogs and you think of late bloomers, Ryan Tannehill should be right there in the dictionary. This guy, what he's done the last couple of years is really amazing, right? And it helps when you're playing on a good football team. That kind of helps too, right? And hey, quarterback's best friend's a great running game, and you don't have a better running game in Tennessee with Derrick Henry and A.J. Brown. Those are the triplets. So Tannehill, Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown. Those are pretty good triplets right there. The only thing with Tennessee is their defense, right? I know the defense is a huge question mark. In fact, where's my sheet here? Yeah, Houston's Tennessee, 28th ranked defense last year. So that's the question mark I only have for Tennessee. Head coaching is my question mark for Arizona. And when Arizona faced Tennessee in the last only played 4 times. 2-2, 2-1-1 against the number, but 3-1 to the over. And let me take a look at some of these stats right here. The Cardinals 9-3 against the spread as an away team before a conference game the last 2 years. And Tennessee, let me see here. Let me get a good over. 10-4 to the over as a home team after a non-conference game. All right, I'm gonna have to regenerate those stats. I don't like those stats. I'm going to have to regenerate those stats later on. All right, let's go to the next game. And the next game on deck is the Chargers taking on the Washington football team. What do you guys think the team's going to be named? What do you think Washington's going to name their? I think it's going to be Red Wolves. What do you guys think? You think there's Isaiah. How you doing, Isaiah? Hopefully you're doing better. Hey, the old chiropractor this morning, the old Calgary Stampeder chiropractor there, crack your back. Hey, good to see you, Isaiah. Isaiah's a regular in the house. All right, so let me see this here. Let's go with what's the game I said we have here? We had Chargers against Washington. So let's go LA Chargers against Washington. And we'll bring that up. All right, so the Chargers going to Washington as a 2.5-point favorite. The over-under is set at 44.5. Forecast, going to lean. Did I give the forecast here? 33-25, the computer pick for the Cardinals, the Titans over the Cardinals. And did I give the forecast on this one? Yeah, I think I'm skipping the forecast here. So 24-12 favoring Jacksonville on the computer pick based on only 3 games in the system. And then we had only 3 games right here. So 33-25 and the over-under at 59. In order for me to really take the computer picks, it has to be at least 10 simulated games in the system before I really take it serious, right? All right, so Chargers taking on the Washington football team. Again, what do you guys think it's going to be? Do you guys think it's going to be the Red Wolves? I like the Red Wolves. I know the Commanders is also an option, but I hope it stays Washington football team. Red Wolves sounds like a semi-pro football club, says Zachary Reed. Yeah, you know what? But you know what? Washington football team or club sounds like a soccer team in the German league or something, right? Hey, playing against it sounds like a soccer team when I see FC or something like that. But 21, look at the number here. 21.68 for the Chargers, 21.13 for the Washington football team. Now, this line opened up as a pick'em, and that's what scares me a bit. Like, the public has bet this over to 2.5 now for Washington. And looking at the Chargers, new head coach Brandon Staley, taking over for Lynn. And Justin Herbert, Austin Eckler, and Keenan Allen are the triplets when you look at the Chargers. And when you think of the Chargers, Washington triplets, okay, Ron Rivera, good defensive coach, only got a winning percentage of 41.2%. You got Fitzpatrick, right? The beard is now in Washington. You got Antonio Gibson and Terry McLaurin as the receiver, as the triplet. So when you look at the triplet factor here for Washington, you got Fitzpatrick, Gibson, and McLaurin. And then you got Herbert, Eckler, and Allen. You got to give the nod on offense to the Chargers, but the nod on defense, obviously, for me, goes to the Washington football team. And then when you look at the history between these two teams, the Chargers' last win in Washington was 2005, and it was a 23-17 win in Week 12, and the overs 3-1 for the Chargers in those games. So I do like Washington in this game this weekend. I think Washington is the play, and I'm just going to queue up the next one. You got Philadelphia, the Eagles fly, Eagles fly. All right, we'll see if they're going to fly this weekend in Atlanta. Hey, we got an Eagles and Hawks or Falcons going this weekend. All right, let me go queue that up right there. And looking at the computer pick, we got, let me see, the line is 3.5. Imagine the public on Fitzpatrick. Fitzmagic. You know what? The one thing with Fitzmagic, yeah, he's smart guy, right? Was it Harvard he went to? He was in Buffalo. High IQ. Probably knows the playbook better than the OC. Hey, the OC wrote it, but he probably knows it better. The one thing with Fitzpatrick, very sharp football mind, right? And he's tough as nails. Man, the guy's just, he's like a Timex watch, right? Takes a licking but keeps on ticking. All right, let me see here. Kevin Coleman, GM at ATS Fam. Let's get where our path to the pay window. Yeah, let's get to the window here, Kevin. Let's get to unders in the Chargers game, which says Gloria. I'm on the Chargers, says Steph. All right, Eagles taking on the Falcons. Now, the bookmakers have the Atlanta Falcons as a 3.5-point favorite. Over-under set at 48.5. Forecast, going to lean with the Atlanta Falcons, 28.09, 25.1. The over-under at 53.22, and that's based on 18 games in the simulated games in the database. I do like Atlanta minus 3.5 this weekend. It's it's one of my contest play. I'm in a couple of contests. One of them is the MyBookie contest. MyBookie's got a contest for like $300,000, so it's a pretty good contest. $100 entry, and then the World Series of Handicapping, right? Our contest too. Hey, that's a champagne contest. We're a beer contest, right? We're in a beer budget contest here at the World Series. I do like the Atlanta Falcons here this week. Looking at the triplets factor, you got Arthur Smith, year 1 now as head coach for the Falcons. You got Matty Ryan still going. Matty Ryan. You got Mike Davis and Calvin Ridley as the triple factors in the receivers and running back. And when you think of the Philadelphia Eagles, you got Nick Sirianni, new head coach. Then you got Jalen Hurts, Miles Sanders, and Devonta Smith, right? Devonta Smith for the Philadelphia Eagles. I like the triplet better for the Atlanta. I think Philly's in for a long year. I think it's going to be a long season for the Eagles, And when Philadelphia travels to the ATL, they're only 6-8, 7-6-1 against the number. And look at the over/under, 4-9-1 to the under. And this could be, what's the total in this game? Total is what, 48.5? I'd have to check out some of the other stats, but yeah, maybe the under might be worth a look here, but we'll see. All right, Seattle taking on the Indianapolis Colts, so let's cue that up. Let's go to Seattle taking on the Colts. Hey, hopefully Carson Wentz doesn't sprain an ankle getting out of his car. Some of these, to me, whenever porcelain players, right? It's like the what's his name there in Dallas Mavericks, the tall center for the Mavericks, always injured. I can't think of his name right now, but always injured. Players like this, no matter what, it just for some reason Carson Wentz can't stay healthy. Hey, Porzingis, yeah, it's like Dallas Mavericks. Porzingis always injured, right? I know it's a different sport, but you look at different sport, you always got your porcelain. I call them porcelain players, right? They're made out of porcelain. I just hope Carson Wentz can get rid of this injury nag he's always has. It's just, stay healthy. Hopefully, I know it's easier said than done, but you just wish that Carson Wentz can stay healthy. All right, let me see here. Washington front four is a problem for anyone. Kyle Pitts, too, for the Falcons. Yeah, Kyle Pitts from Florida. Hey, the Gators. Very good tight end. I think that there will be excellent value betting Washington all year. Porzingis, says Isaiah. Yeah, exactly right, Isaiah. Porzingis. I hear what you're saying about the Washington front four. That's why I picked them, says Steph. All right, so Seattle taking on the Colts. Now, you know what? In my I told you guys at the beginning of the year, I bet two teams on totals. Seattle under 10 wins. I don't think they get to 10 wins this year. Now they extra and add a game, right? So there's 17 games. So I got them at about 8 and 9 this year. And the other one was the Giants. I thought the Giants, after last night, I'm really doubting that pick now, watching Dak play. Man, Dak looked good last night. Dak Prescott looked very good last night. And I took I bet $500 on the Patriots. I know it's probably a cardinal sin betting against the Bills. But I bet $500 on the Patriots to win the Super Bowl. And all I need them to do is just make the playoffs, right? And then I can start hedging off that ticket. But I think that, Washington, everybody's overexcited on Washington. The Buffalo Bills, and that's why I bet New England to win the Super Bowl. All right, Seahawks minus 3.5. The over/under at 49.5. The computer pick gonna lean with the Seahawks here, 28.4 to 20.5. The over/under at 48.9. In fact, let me bring up another window. I shouldn't have closed that window. I want to show you guys. I want to see. Actually, I want to the purpose of this, this session is to do some handicapping, right? So I want to take a look. Remember I said earlier in the week, I said Seattle's got a pretty good road record the last couple of years. Let's take a look at Seattle's road record the last couple of seasons. So let's go to Seattle on the road, and let's go the last 2 years. Let's take a look at Seattle's road record the last 2 years. Where's 2? There you are. Yeah, okay, 5-3. 2-6 against the point spread. I thought it was a little bit better than that. Sometimes you get these why does this team seem to always be winning on the road? 5-3 is pretty good straight up, but 2-6, maybe that's just last year. Okay, that's not 2 years. Let's go last 3 years. That should bring up. All right, 13. Yeah, there you go. I knew it. 13-5 straight up the last since 2019. Since 2019, 13-5 straight up, 8-2 against the number. Pretty good record, but in Philadelphia, Indianapolis, 1-3 straight up and 1-3 against the number. So 2-2 to the over/under. I knew they had a good record on the road. I didn't think it was that good at 13-5. That's a pretty good record, but not too good in Indianapolis, 1-3, right? All right, let me cue up Minnesota. Man, I think it's going to be a long year for Minnesota. Somebody said, I was listening to one of the podcasts, or was it the broadcast, not podcast, one of the broadcasts of the Minnesota games, and they said Zimmer never lost back-to-back preseason games, and they went, 0-3 this year in preseason? And if that's a telling tale right there, man, we could be, Viking fan could be in a long, long year. And imagine if you lose to Cincinnati week 1 in Cincinnati, if you're in Minnesota. If you lose to Cincinnati week 1, which I think they will, I think Cincinnati beats them this weekend. This could be a really tough stretch for the Vikings this year. Minus 3.5 is the line. Over/under is at 46.5. Forecast gonna lean with since Minnesota here. Now, this is only a computer pick, right? Simulated games, 8 simulated games. If you look right here, it shows you generated from 8 previous games. So those simulation games, 30.4 to 26.2. The over-under at 56.67. So it does see a high-scoring game. Let's take a look at the triplets for both these teams. For Minnesota, Mike Zimmer. All right, the Zimmer's going into his 8th season. He's got a win percentage of 56.8%. Now, looking at the triplet factor, Cousins, Cook, Justin Jefferson from LSU. What's that? The Giddy they call it? The Giddy dance? Hey, I love that dance. I just hope he's not doing it this weekend in Cincinnati, though. And then for Cincinnati, you got Joe Burrows, Kevin Stefanski, the head coach, second year. Zach Taylor. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong one. Zach Taylor is the Cincinnati Bengals head coach, third year, 20.3 win percentage. Not a great win percentage. And then you got Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, and Tyler Boyd. Hey, I'm expecting. I know somebody said last night in the broadcast they're expecting a big season from Tyler Boyd. When you look at those triplets, we'll see with Joe Burrows how he does after that injury. Joe Mixon, and let me take a quick look. Sometimes let me see here. Go to NFL. Let's go to the depth charts. All right, Burrow played the series. Okay, so I just want to make sure how Joe Burrow is doing. Injury reports, right? I didn't check the injury report this morning, so if I'm ever saying some team names, guys, and there's injuries that I didn't update yet, just throw it in the bullpen, so this way I can make my notes too, right? Hey, you know what? This is why we're doing this, right? We're sharing information, and sometimes I don't get all the injury reports. So this way, if I'm talking about the triplets and they're saying, "Hey, Ron, that guy's injured this weekend," let me know. So this way I can I can especially check my my injury status on my DraftKings, right? I got one DraftKings lineup. I do play DraftKings, not crazy. The reason I play DraftKings is to keep on top of the player names, right? I think it's a really good refresher to play DraftKings, so this way you can keep on top of all the names. I find it really helps in basketball, especially those West Coast teams, right? All right, so given the edge here, I don't know. I probably have to give the edge to Minnesota on the triplet factor, but looking at the computer pick, 30 to 26, a high scoring game. Minnesota, when they travel to Cincinnati, look at that, 1-4, only 1-4 straight up and against the number. And the last time they won in Cincinnati was 1992. Hey, some of you guys probably weren't even born by then. 1992 was the last time the Minnesota won in Cincinnati. So we'll see. And that was week 4. All right, that's see, this is why we do the exercise, right? We get you the information, so this way, if anything, we plant a seed on doubt, right? So San Francisco taking on the Detroit Lions. I showed you that stat, right? 13-1 to the over in week number 1 for the Detroit Lions. And let me take a look here. Detroit. All right, just cue that up. So the Niners taking on the Lions, 8.5 point. That seems like a lot. I know when I watched one preseason game of the Detroit, I think it was the first one or the second. I can't remember. They look pretty sharp on offense, but preseason, right? Not going to make anything out of that. 26-16. So they got them winning by 10 on the computer pick. 14 previous games in the database. And we do have it going under the total, and I show you that stat to the over. So, you know what? Sometimes when indicators don't all go your way, that's probably a good thing sometimes too, right? Because to me, when all the indicators, all line up, it's like, oh my, that scares me. Because if I see that, the book sees that, then there's an adjustment along the way. And San Fran against Detroit, 5-3 straight up and against the number, and 5-3 to the over. I'm always amazed when I do these stats and these research when they all line up 5-3, right? It's like, well, okay, 5-3 straight up, 5-3 against the number, and 5-3. And it goes with my theory, right? If you like favorites, play the over. If you like unders, play the underdogs. And that's one of my rule of thumbs if you play parlays, right? All right, let's go to the next game between the Fish and the New England Patriots. Now, I showed you at the top of the show when when Miami went to New England last year, Cam Newton's first game as a Patriot. It was a very run-heavy game. I don't think it was week 1 because I thought that the Patriots, no, it was week 1. That's right, because the Patriots then went to Seattle, I think the week after, and they looked pretty good on that Seattle game. But, man, it didn't work out. Mac Jones, I saw this morning on CNBC, there's 3 starting quarterbacks from Alabama starting this weekend, right? You got Jalen Hurts, Mac Jones, and Tua. So 3 Alabama quarterbacks starting this weekend. Man, Nick Saban just and this is why I hate Alabama games. It's like an NFL factory of just getting players ready. When you watch an Alabama game, hopefully you got like 3 other TVs going because you know it's going to be over soon, right? Big babies, what's going on here? I just realized everybody in the chat waddled around in diapers. Hey, I was still in diapers, says Isaiah. Isaiah, really? Really? I was in diapers in 92? Is that what you're talking about? A lot of drama in Minnesota. That's funny. Hey, that's pretty funny, Isaiah. All right. Miami taking on the Patriots. I love New England this weekend. I think what New England did in the preseason, you can see they're very focused on the running game. You're going to see a big lot of runs this year in New England. I think the defense, some players sat out last year for COVID. Belichick, you think he was pretty happy seeing Tom Brady and Gronk, hoisting Super Bowls? I guarantee you, at last year's Super Bowl, when the game was on, I bet you, Belichick was probably working. Hey, he probably didn't want to watch that game. He says, "Oh, I can't watch this game. I got to work." Him and his dog Nike. It was a dog Nike. All right, so 21.3 to 20.4. The over/under at 41.8. So we do like Miami on the computer pick. And look at that, 32 previous games in the database. I disagree. I'm from an analytics point of view, probably this looks good. But from a situational handicapping, and this is where sometimes you got to separate analytics from reality, right? Perception versus reality. And I do like New England this weekend. Let me take a look at Miami going into Foxborough, and let me see what the last 50 games. All right, 12-27, 14-24-1, 18-21-0, and remember this game here? That was week 17. Yeah, this was a game that screwed the Patriots out of some. Remember this game from some playoff jockeying, as I call it. I think they screwed them out of a home game that day. Prior to that win in 2019, and look at all the wins right here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11 of the New England has won 10 of the last 11 games in New England. So. Brian Flores done a good job. Where's Miami? Brian Flores, 3rd year at Miami, 46.9% win percentage. And then you look at the triplet factors, right? Tua Tagovailoa, you got Myles Gaskin, Devontae Parker. And then when you look at the New England Patriots, you got Mac Jones, Damian Harris, and Nelson Aguilar. Hopefully his drops are over, right? Speaking of drops, I thought CeeDee Lamb last night, when you watched the game last night between the Bucs and the Cowboys, and I saw CeeDee Lamb drop those first 2 passes, I'm like, oh, God. Is the waiver wire coming up soon here? Because he might be on it, eh? The way he was dropped. But then he settled in the nerves, and he looked pretty good. Dallas looked very good last night, right? Anyways, back to the fish. I do like New England in this game here on Sunday. All right, Denver against the Giants. This can go either way. When you handicap, you ever handicap a card and you're like, man, I can spend like 3 hours on this game alone. It's just, it's like a court case, right? I can make a case for the Giants. I can make a case for the Broncos. But what does it boil down to? I'm still trying to figure this game out. Does it boil down to, Daniel Jones and his turnovers? Does it boil down to Joe Judge out-coaching Fangio? Looking at the triplet factors for Denver, let's take a look at it. Teddy Bridgewater, maybe that's a factor right there, right? Teddy covers. Teddy Bridgewater, Melvin Gordon, Cortland Sutton for the triplets for Denver. And then when you look at the triplets for the Giants, not as lucrative as that there, but so you got Joe Judge going into season. Where's my Giants here? Season number 2, 37.5 win percentage. You got Jones, Barkley, Galladay. Good pickup for the Giants. Hang on here, Kenny Galladay. So I do like. I do like. Is Barkley going to be healthy? The only thing question mark on the Giants. I know my buddy Christian loves the Big Ragu, one of my best friends. Big Giants fan, big Giants fan. I wonder how he feels about these triplets with Daniel Jones this weekend. But 27.5, 17.8 favoring Denver, and I do give them I'll give them the edge on defense. I know Denver's got a good defense, 45.3, so we do like it to go over the total. And let's take a look how Denver has done at the Meadowlands. All right, so let's take a look at this. Denver going to New York. And you know what? I'm going to do a little exercise here. Let's see how Denver does against the Giants. 1-4. All right, 2-2 against and 1 against the number. 3-2. Let's see how they do against the Jets. Okay, it's the same building. It's the same building. 5-4, 6-3. Yeah, but the bad news is they're playing the Giants. And 7-2 to the over. So 5-4 straight up. And what did I say? 5-4. And they are what? 1-4. 5-4. So 6 and 8. 6 and 8 at the Meadowlands. So yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm really. You can talk me in or out of this game. What did the forecast have? 27. Maybe the forecast has it right, but the value, there is value on the Giants. I know the Giants on the road, just like Seattle. Look at the Giants on the road the last couple of years. Just I know they're playing. Look at the Giants, 5-12, 11-6 against the point spread. Not a good straight up record, but a pretty good. Let me do the last 4 years. 18-7. Look at the Giants on the road. 18-7. Just something to remember in the next couple of weeks when the Giants hit the road. Right, hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more. Chicago taking on the LA Rams. The Sunday night game of the week. You got the Rams a 7.5 point favorite. The over/under at 46.5. ATS forecast computer pick. Gonna lean with the LA Rams, 26.7 to 20.5. The over/under at 47.37. So you know what? I do like the Bears. I do like the Bears. This is a bit like last night, right? 90% of the people on the Bucs last night. I got a feeling with the consensus picks. LA is going to be a huge survivor pick this week, right? People are going to be on the Rams, and I think Chicago, to me, I don't know if they pulled the upset, but I think they keep it close. Closer than what the expert thinks. Let me see. Chicago going to LA to face the Rams. Let me take a look at their record here, and how are we doing on time here? How are we doing on time? An hour. Wow. Already been an hour. 4-10, 4-8-1 against the number, 6-8 to the over/under. Wow. All right. So yeah, I do like Chicago here. Green Bay taking on the Saints. Now this game was supposed to be in New Orleans, but now it's been moved. I believe, is it Charlotte or in Orlando? I can't remember. You guys remember where this game is played? And I know it's somewhere hot, right? 3.5 point road favorite. The over/under at 49.5. ATS forecast computer pick. Gonna lean with the Packers, 32-24. The over/under at 56.5. And let's take a look at Green Bay. So here's a little story for you guys. Let me bring up this record here. So in 1995, I was coaching a team here in Ottawa, and I think I told you guys this story before. There was a Kenner, Louisiana. Right? There's a place in Louisiana called Kenner. I think it's on the outskirts of New Orleans. Anyway, there's a football coach, a gentleman there, who invited 3 Canadian teams to New Orleans to play their team, the Kenner. They were called the Leprechauns. Anybody in Kenner right now watching this show? It would be interesting to see if that team still exists, the Kenner Leprechauns. I think it was a high school team. Anyway, so we went down there. This gentleman, he rented the Superdome for us. We played one Friday night at Tulane University, and then we went to the Superdome and our football team, and he took us to this game right here, the Saints against the Packers, and it was a 34-23 win. And I was coaching this team, and man, we had some kids acting up that game, and that was I won't get into the details, but when you get these kids acting up, it could ruin the whole trip. Well, that day ruined that trip. But the experience was great. I was happy to see Brett Favre play in his prime. And even though, the Packers did win that game, 34-23. So little story right there for you guys. But looking at the Packers going to, playing now, they're not going to New Orleans, but they're playing the Saints. 4-5, 5-4, 6-3 to the over/under. But again, neutral site game, so I don't think that'll have a lot of impact. Those stats on this weekend, right? But I do, before I go on to the Cleveland game, I do love the Saints here. I think what's happening in Green Bay, Rodgers not going to any of the OTAs. he's not happy. You don't need a brain surgeon to realize that what's happening. Sometimes you got to put a front on. I think Aaron Rodgers is putting on a happy face. What's that song? Put on a happy face. I think that's what Aaron Rodgers is doing right now. He's putting on a happy face. Devontae Adams didn't want to, work his contract. Something's going up in Green Bay. I don't think they're on the same page. Matt LaFleur, the head coach for the Green Bay Packers. Let's take a look. I didn't do the triplets here. For the Green Bay Packers, Matt LaFleur, third year, great coach, 77.8 win percentage. Rodgers, Aaron Jones, Devontae Adams, the triplets. And then for the Saints, Jameis Winston. What else here? New Orleans, where are you? All right, so Sean Payton, you believe Sean Payton's already going in his 16th season as head coach, and he's got a 63.1% win percentage. And then you got Alvin Kamara, Traquan Smith as some of the triplet factors. You know what? Drew Brees is the big piece of the puzzle that's moved, right? But you recall last year, Drew Brees was injured for about 6-7 games, and life went on. And New Orleans didn't miss a beat. They were still good. You recall last year, and this is why I did the exercise at the beginning of the year, at the beginning of the show today. Remember who New Orleans played week 1 last year, right? Tom Brady. And what happened? They beat them, right? I love New Orleans here. I think New Orleans is really getting no attention, no love. Hey, so, right on cue. As soon as I start talking underdogs, there goes Rusty. Hey, it's as if you guys think I'm planning this. Hey, Rusty. Hey, my good. Anyway, start talking underdogs, Rusty goes nuts, right? All right, so yeah, I love New Orleans. I don't know about you guys, but I think New Orleans is the play here. Cleveland taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. Now the Chiefs, a 5.5 point road favorite. The over-under is set at 54.5. Forecast, gonna lean. Wow, look at the total here. 35.6 for Kansas City, 35.2 for the Cleveland Browns. The over-under at 70.8. It likes to fly over the total. We got this one really flying high over the total. So yeah, I do like. I like Cleveland in this spot. I'm going to be honest. I love the Cleveland Browns. Baker Mayfield just keeps growing on me. He's matured, the last couple of years. I love his commercials. I love Baker Mayfield. I think he's just, you know what? If you're cocky and you can back it up, I got no problem with that, right? And then you look at Patrick Mahomes. The thing with Mahomes that drives me nuts is when, you look at his highlight films, it always looks like it's from a broken play. He's scrambling, throwing the ball, between his legs, and, it's like, ta-da. But, so I don't know. Bo Jackson, shout out to Rusty for Bo Jackson. How you doing, Bo? Yeah, Rusty's right on cue. He's always on cue. But, yeah, I go revenge game for the Cleveland Browns, says Isaiah. So, looking at the triplets, you got Kevin Stefanski, year number 2, 66.7% win percentage. The Stefanski remind you a bit of Matt LaFleur in the same type of demeanor. You got Baker Mayfield, you got Nick Chubb, Odell Beckham as their triplets, and for the Kansas City, nobody's going to beat these triplets, right? Well, Patrick Mahomes, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and Tyreek Hill, pretty good triplets right there. But I love Cleveland. Let's see let's see this test right here. Let's see how Cleveland has done in Kansas City at Arrowhead. Let's see if survey says. 1-4, but 4-1 against the number. So I do like that, 3-2. I love Cleveland, and you know what? I'm gonna give you guys my newsletter picks. I subscribe to 3 newsletter along with ATS, and what I do is I take my newsletter picks and I compare them to ATS stats, and I generate a forecast, and I'm gonna share with you the newsletter and the ATS consensus picks in just 1 second. And your Monday Night Football game of the week, man. This is not good for Baltimore, right? Losing Gus Edwards yesterday, and looking at the Raiders, what's the line now? -3.5. The over/under at 50.5. Baltimore 29, Raiders 21. The over/under at 50. So look at the number, wow! Right, the total's right on the number, 50.63, and we got 50.5 as the total. And when you look at the Baltimore Ravens going to the desert, and let's see how Baltimore does. Against a Raider team, right? We don't know if it's Oakland, LA. Actually, it's all over the place when you look at the Raiders, Las Vegas. So let me see here. I got Oakland. Is there any Los Angeles Raiders? No, I don't think so. All right, 6-3 straight up, 5-4 against the number, 4-1 to the total. So this again, I don't have a real strong opinion on this game. My gut instinct tells me the Raiders, but man, I do like a lot of underdogs this week. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I just don't want to be thinking like the consensus of the betting public, right? And I just got this feeling that a lot of people are betting the underdogs this weekend. Do you guys feel it's a dog week in week number 1? I'm getting that feeling. I'm just getting that feeling. All right. So as you know, I told you guys I subscribe to 3 major newsletters, and I compared their forecast with mine. So last night, Dallas and Tampa Bay, I had I was the only newsletter on Dallas. I told my wife, if Dallas wins this game, I'll probably retire, because that was probably the call of the century right there, picking the Dallas Cowboys to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The forecast had 22-16, but the other newsletters had the Tampa Bay Bucks, but the consensus was 26-20. Now, I'm going to give you guys the consensus, and anytime we have a consensus, I'll just let you know where all these newsletters. So right now, Buffalo, all 3 newsletters on Buffalo, the consensus is 28-21. So it does like Buffalo. The consensus on the Jets-Panther game, I'm the only one. The ATS is the only one on the Jets. The other ones are on Carolina. The consensus score is 23-18. Jacksonville at Houston, I'm the only one on Jacksonville. The other 2 consensus newsletters are on Houston, and the score is 23.9 to 23.7, favoring Jacksonville. And I'm the only one because I have a 27-23, and the other guys are very, very tight. So that's why the consensus forecast is leaning towards Jacksonville. Arizona against Tennessee. 2 of the newsletters are on Tennessee. 1 is on Arizona. 28-25 is the forecast favoring Tennessee. We got Chargers and Washington. 2 of the newsletters are on Washington. 1 is on the Chargers, and the forecast is 22-19. And then we got Atlanta. All 3 newsletters are on the Falcons, 26-21, so they got to win by 5. Indy and the Seahawks. 2 of the newsletters are on the Seahawks. 1 is on the Colts, and the forecast is 25-22, favoring Seattle. Cincinnati and Minnesota, all 3 newsletters are on Minnesota, winning by 3, 26-23. San Francisco taking on the Lions. All 3 newsletters are on San Fran. The consensus score is 27-17. New England taking on the Dolphins. 2 of the 3 are on New England. 1 is on Miami, which was mine. 21-18 favoring the Patriots, so they got them winning by 3. And then we got the Broncos taking on the Giants. 2 of the 3 newsletters are on the Broncos. The score, 20.3 for Denver, 20.0 for the Giants. And then we got the Rams and the Bears. All 3 are on the Rams, but not covering, 23-17. Packers and Saints. All 3 newsletters are on Green Bay to win, 26-22, so they got them winning but not covering. Chiefs and Browns, all consensus are on the Chiefs, 30-24, so not covering the spread. And the Monday Nighter, all 3 consensus are on the newsletter, are on the Baltimore Ravens, 27-19. Now, I'm going to give you guys, I'm going to do like I did yesterday, is I'm going to put in the description. If you go look at my college football forecast yesterday, the podcast, I gave you guys all the favorites and the underdogs. I'll do the same thing for today. Now, I got 5 consensus newsletter picks here on the favorites, and I only got 3 on the underdogs. So let me start with the favorites, and I use the differential of the what I do is I take all the forecasts, and then I do the average, and then I compare it to the bookmaker's line, and I'll rate, I grade it I power rank it from the highest to the lowest, right? So the strongest play this weekend on favorites on the newsletter picks is San Francisco minus 7.5, Baltimore minus 4.5, Atlanta minus 3.5, Buffalo 6.5, and Minnesota 3.5. And your top 3 underdog plays on the newsletter picks: Chicago Bears plus 7.5, Cleveland Browns plus 6.5, and the New Orleans Saints plus 4.5. And those are your top 3 consensus plays. I love those plays. I love those underdog plays. I love Cleveland. I love what was the other one there? I gave New Orleans, and also Chicago plus 7.5. And we'll see on Tuesday or even Monday when we do the Monday show. I'll see how the consensus pick is done, and then we'll get a good idea on how they, we'll do it every week, and we'll see throughout the season if we got something good here going, right? All right, there you have it. That is the Rain Report for the NFL Football Friday. Again, Thursday shows are concentrated on college football. Friday is Football Friday, pro football. And, Monday and, the other 5 days are every other sport in between, right? So again, folks, I want to thank each and every one of you guys for watching the show. Hey, if you enjoyed the show, why not hit the like button? I always appreciate if you guys, if I kept you hostage here for an hour and some today. I kept you hostage for an hour 13. At least you can do is give me a good old thumbs up. Or if you didn't like the show, hit the thumbs down. And, this way I get a reading on if you guys, how am I supposed to know if you guys like the show if no one, nobody posts the comments or nobody hits the like button. So I have no clue, right? So I, always like to know what, some feedback, right? And if I can get some good constructive feedback on the show, what would you guys think would make the show better? And there's my good buddy, Sandro. How you doing, Sandro? Hey, right on, Sandro. Hey, that's my good friend from Ottawa right there. You're the best teacher, says Gloria K. Oh, appreciate that, Gloria. But, appreciate you guys watching the show. And again, if you're interested in getting the rain report, all you got to do is go to atsstats.com. And once you go here, hit the sign up button. And then once you sign up, I'm going to give you a promo code to use. Let's go with the promo code. Let's go premium sign up. Like, comment, and subscribe. Yeah, so what you want to do is once you sign up, use promo code FB21. So F is in Frank, B is in Bravo, 21. And once you hit the apply, 24 turns into 19, right? And then 99 turns into 74. Use this promo code, and you will get the rain report. And Crazy Cloud Z, I'm gonna do a separate video right after this on baseball. So instead of making because I don't want to do an hour long, an hour and a half long show, I will do a separate video right after this on baseball, and I will post that and I'll make sure I include the trends, right? So that's it. That's a wrap for a Friday, September 10th. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. And as always, shop for value, play those percentages. Hasta la vista, baby. See you mañana. Cheers.